Today I wanted to talk about the origin of the witch with the pointy hat, the black cat, and the black cauldron. And I wanted to bring some enlightenment to this situation because it has absolutely nothing to do with witches. So, around the 13th and 14th centuries in medieval Europe, making beer or brewing beer and ale was considered a domestic household task that fell into the hands of women. So women brewed beer in their own house for their husband or for visitors, friends, or whatever, and with any leftover ale, they would take it to the marketplace and sell it to others, or they would sell it to their neighbors, sell it to their friends. And so they became called brewsters or alewives. Alewife was someone that just brewed beer or ale. And the reason why, so they have these pointy hats, and the reason why these women, these alewives, wore the pointy hats is they were trying to stand out from the crowd. They were in the marketplace, they were trying to stand out, they made a really tall hat, and this identified them as an alewife, so everyone knew where to go to get ale. And when they weren't in the marketplace and they were at their house, they would have what's called an ale stake. And an ale stake just looks like a broom. Basically, it's just a broom. And it actually doubled as a broom, but it actually was held above the door of the house and it stuck outwards. And that was a sign, again, that there was ale for sale at that house. And so we have these three different images. We have the cauldron and the cat and the pointy hat. So I just explained the pointy hat to you. The cauldron was how they brewed the ale. They put in a bunch of mixture, a bunch of wheat or whatever. I don't know how they made it, but they made it, and they put it all in a big black cauldron and they mixed it up. And so that's where the black cauldron comes from. And the cat was just used to scare away all of the rodents that were trying to infest the grain that they used in the cauldrons. So that's pretty self-explanatory. And then what happened was, because it was primarily a woman's task, and because these women started making money for their families, of course, more powerful people come in and completely dismiss all of that. These guilds got together, and guilds were a lot of men with a lot of resources, a lot of money, and they could influence and change things pretty quickly. And what they did was they convinced the churches of Europe to brand these alewives as witches, so that no one would go to buy ale from them. Instead, they would go to buy the ale from the guilds. So all these men started taking over and commercializing the brewing of ale and beer, and they pushed the women out. And they pushed them out by giving them a bad reputation. They talked a lot of shit about them, and people believed it, and the men got what they wanted, more money. So it was about money, and most things are about money. And so that is the history of, or the origins of the witch with the pointy hat and the cat and the black cauldron. So now you know the history, and it should also stop, because witches have absolutely nothing to do with brewing ale. Not that witches don't still brew beer, but it's ridiculous to associate a witch with a pointy hat and a cat and a cauldron. We just don't do it anymore, and it actually never had anything to do with witches to begin with. So there's the history. I hope you enjoyed that.